Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
So, students, now we are having only two topics from this chapter which should be explained. First is international trade. Whatever we are studying here in the lesson number 6 in geography, and the title of the chapter is Lifelines of National Economy. So, here we are talking that how the means of transportation and the communication devices, and lastly how the trade, all the three factors are complementary to each other. At last we are explaining the international trade. The trade which is had between two countries is known as international trade. So here that when we talk about the country's economy, when we talk about the country's, any country economy, then it is directly related to international trade, because how much product we will export, that show that our economy is enhancing. If we are doing so much of import of goods and services, it means our economic growth is not good. Okay, for the economical balance or the economic growth, our export should be increased, which you have studied in the previous video. So when we say international trade, so international trade, that two things are there. The balance of trade of a country is the difference between its export and import. When the value of export exceeds, when value of exports exceed, when the value of exports exceeds means increase, exceeds, it shows that country's economic growth is improving. Economy is improving. Improving. Okay. When value of exports of good exceeds, it means increase in a nation, it shows that their economy is improving, enhancing. Okay? And it is favorable, it is good for the country. If our export is exceeding, it means our number of products are exported to the other country. Okay, it means we will get the money. Our export, if our export will be increased in the other country, then our economy will be increased, and it is a favorable condition for our economy. At contrast, if our import exceeds, it means if we are taking products from the other countries more and more, it will unfavorable. It will be unfavorable factor for our economy. So, for the growth of country, what should we increase? Export or import? Export. Export should be increased or exceed, because it is a favorable factor, or it is a favorable situation for any country's economy. Okay? It will, that is how we have to balance. Now we will talk about tourism as trade. When we say tourism, then you know, being the native of hilly area, we know that how the hill station used to attract the tourists around the world. You can take the example of Mussoorie, Shimla, Nainital. Okay, these are the Manali. These are the hill stations which time to time attract the visitors around the world. It means if the state government will develop these spots in a very beautiful manner and look after them, so more and more visitors will come to our India. And if more and more visitors around the world will come here to see the beauty of the nature, then our foreign exchange will decrease or increase? Increase. And it is also another factor for our economic, you can say economic growth, that if our banks, nationalized banks, are having more and more percentage of foreign exchange, foreign money, it means our economy will increase. And our economy will increase, it means our GDP will develop, or it means economic are doing growth. Are you getting my point? First thing is that when we say international trade, so our export should be exceeds. It is a favorable condition for our Indian economy. Second, if our foreign exchange, our foreign you can say exchange will increase, then it also increase our economy. So tourism is the sector. Here there is so much of opportunity to maximize our foreign exchange. To maximize, because there are so many historical places and monuments around the India, either the southern part or the Delhi. There are so many places where every year millions and thousands of the people around the world used to come as a tourist, and that's why we are having the, you can say, one byline also in our culture, that Atithi Devo Bhava. Atithi Devo Bhava is directly, you can say, related to the tourism sector. Okay, who was the brand ambassador for the Gujarat for the campaign to support their tourism? Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan was the brand ambassador. That he said that you have to come Gujarat in one time in your life. So that they are supporting that this tourism sector. They are attracting the visitors, that there is so much to visit, and it increase our international economy. Okay, are you getting my point? The tourism, the trade, and when we say that how the tourism can be changed as a trade, it is all about that how we can develop our hill station, the places which are historically so important, where people used to go and visit. Okay, so tourism is also having a very significant role to enhance our economy. Tourism in India has grown substantially over the last 3 decades. Foreign tourists arrives in the country witnessed an increase of 11.8% during the year of 2010, as against the year 2009, contributing rate 64,889 crore foreign exchange in 2010. You can see that if the people from around the world, the foreigners are coming to India to visit our historical places, monuments, and the other hill station, it can be varies according to their choices. So, how much you are having the facts and figures of year 2010, that how much foreign exchange increased? It has increased 64,889 crore, and it is a good sign. So you can imagine that if our government of India will see these tourist places and look after them, so indirectly we are supporting our Indian economy. Tourism is such a sector. Okay, now tourist also promotes national integration, provides support to local handicraft and the cultural pursuits. It also helps in the development of international understanding about the culture and heritage. Yes, and it is also obvious that in history also, when we read out the chapter globalization, then we have explained the Silk routes also, that not only these routes or the sea routes help to the travelers or the people, traders, where they can sell their product, but also at the same time they share their cultural heritage. What is all about cultural heritage? What is all about cultural heritage? Why you are looking there during the lecture? There is no need to see each other's eyes. You are far away and everyone is paying attention, so you only need to listen me and to sit properly. Understand? Yes. Now, that what is all about cultural heritage? That tourism is not only helpful to increase the foreign exchange in India, but also helpful to preserve and to you can say to share the cultural heritage to each other. Even they are also very helpful when the visitors come to India, okay, as a visiting purpose. So they also support our handicrafts that are handmade products. If they are coming in India, definitely they will buy something, whatever they like to buy. That is other thing. But it also support our handicraft, because these people wants to buy the things which reflects Indian handicrafts or culture or trade. Okay, as you have seen so many times in Dehradun, we are having trade fair, where from every state there are the shops where they used to sell their products which are usually made in their own state. Okay, Uttarakhand is famous for what type of cultural heritage? Hmm? It is a hill station, okay, but I am talking about that what is the specialty of products of Uttarakhand. As in Kashmir, they are having the chicken curry, they are having the different pashmina shawl, woolen category is so wonderful from the Kashmir, and it is all about their cultural heritage, which they are spreading one generation to another. It is their means of that to earn their livelihood. Okay, so when the tourists from around the world come in India, they not only increase our foreign exchange, but they also support our cultural heritage. They also support our handicrafts that they use to purchase the things. Are you getting my point? So in Dehradun also we see that different states shops where whatever we Himachal is famous for their woolen clothes, where the clothes or jackets which is usually made up of the wool of the sheep, and they are really very warm. At the same time they are costly too. Okay, it is all about. When we are saying that cultural heritage, it means sharing of their, you can say trade, or sharing of their natural handicrafts, and second, their language, their culture, and so many things. There are so many foreigners who settled in Uttarakhand forever, as they like India so much. Okay, and not only they are living here, they are living in India for a long period of time, and they had adopted the language of India, they had adopted the culture of India. They are wearing sari, these old foreigners are wearing sari, they are doing the marriages in a Hindu tradition. It is all about that, because as being a democratic citizen, we are free that if we want what religion we want to follow. So this is the beauty of India, that we are a secular nation, and we believe to support each other's cultural heritage with a sense of mutual understanding and respect. So here, this thing makes India a great country. Okay, so it is all about that when we talk about all the means of transportation, then communication and trade, how they all are related to each other, how they all are complementary to each other, and that's why they all called the lifelines of national economy. Understood? That's why they all called the lifelines of Indian economy. I hope the idea of the entire chapter is now clear in your mind, that why the topic of the chapter selected the lifelines of Indian economy. When we say the lifelines of Indian economy, then the three things should be come in your mind. That first is transportation, various means of transportation. Second thing, communication, and last, the trade. Okay, this all things you have studied entire chapter. Now I will discuss the long questions. The first long question of this chapter is, because as we have completed the previous questions, why are the means of transportation? Read the question very seriously. Why are the means of transportation and communication called the lifelines of a nation and its economy? And the words limit is already given there, up to the 120 words. It depends on your ability, that how much you can write down the solid content for particular question as far as the long question are concerned. So in this question it had asked why are the means of transportation, why are the means of transportation, and now what are the means of transportation? Speak loudly one by one. Roadways, railways, and waterways. Very good. Why are the means of transportation and communication and communication called the lifeline called the lifelines of a nation and its economy. Now, long question. According to the book of NCERT, they have given the words limit also up to the 120 words. It can be 100, it can be 80, it depends only that how much you are capable. But they have given a measure that for long question, your word limit will be up to the 120 words. Okay. Okay. 120 words. They have given the words limit in geometry. Now, first, the most important thing, and we will talk about that as you are having only 3 hours for the examination where you have to solve 80 marks question paper in assessment. So if the first priority is that you have to be habitual, that you have to work on your speed. I used to say that you have to work on your speed, that speed is also matters to cover the entire question paper within 3 hours. So for the long question, the need is that you have to read the question in a very concentrative mind, that you need to understand what is asked in the question. Because so many times that when we write down the content, we go out of track of the question. Many times it happens. So in this question, why are the means of transportation? Now means of transportation, you know the 5 means of transportation as a whole. And communication, you know, IT sector, BPO sector played a significant role. All the call center played a very significant role to communicate the various nation, okay, or within the country, to help the trade or to help the means of transportation or enhance our economy. Okay, so here we are talking about that why. You have to give the reason why the means of transportation, they can be different, they can be anything, you know that they are 5. And communication called, they have given a transportation in a one category, a big category, and you can divide them in roadways, railways, and pipelines, waterways. Okay? And the communication, both called the lifelines of a nation and its economy. I have given you the idea what is all about the lifelines, so that you can understand in the starting when we started the chapter. Now, how you supposed to start the answer? And you have to remember that in your content you have to make the answer lengthy, as it will be for 4 and 5 marks question. And your sentences shouldn't be repeat one again and again. There is no, you can say, benefit to write down the same thing again and again just to fill the page. No, there should be solid content. Now, I want to ask you that how you need to start this question. What will be your introduction? What will be your introduction? These are the questions, that why we are not having the long question. Why? Why? You can start them with the introduction, that the means of transportation, including roadways, waterways, railways, pipelines, and the means and the communication, including all the call center, IT sector, are called the lifeline economy, as they both are the important and you can say essential supportive factor to flourish the trade for a nation or within the nation or with the other countries. You can start. You have to write down your answer. You have to start your answer with a good authentic introduction. It can be varies on the basis of the student. You all are free how to start your answer. But I have given you the one example that how you have to start your answer. So the means of transportation, communication for the lifelines of nation and its economy for because of the following reasons. Now one by one headings and then. So first heading will be that means of transportation. The role of means of transportation in country's economy. It can be done. Okay. Yeah. The value you can write down and another heading, the value of transportation in economy of a nation. Because you are talking about their value, their role, their function. Then after first heading you can write down. First heading you can start. First you have to give the introduction. First you have to write down the introduction for all types of long question, either in history, civics, geography, economic. Introduction means the first 3 or 4 lines should reflect that how you are going to start your answer. You need not to write down the introduction. No, I am writing that to clarify you that how you have to start your answer. And when you start the long answer, the first 3 and 4 lines is usually called the introduction of the question. Yes or no? So in the introductory part, in the starting, you can write down the means of, I am helping you with one question, that how you have to write down the long answer. Okay? The means of transportation, including, you can write down, it shows that you know what are the means of transportation. When students write, including roadways, waterways, pipeline, so it reflects that students knows ultimately that what are the means of transportation. Okay, including roadways, speak loudly, waterways, very good, waterways, very good, pipelines, airways and airways, and then you will put it a bracket. The means of transportation including roadways, railways, waterways, pipelines and airways and communication are called means of transportation. The lifelines of a nation and its economy because of the following reasons. Okay, following reasons. So this is the way to write down to start any long question. It can be different. It can be how. Okay, how the communication and the transportation are the lifelines of a nation or its economy. It can be changed in any way. Here the question is why. So you have to give how. If they are asking why, it means you have to write down the how. They are the lifelines of Indian economy or the country's economy, or they are counted as a significant resource. So in this manner you start the introduction of the answer. Now you will write down the headings. Okay. First heading can be role of transportation manner, then your mind limited. That now you have to write down about this only. Otherwise, your topic will be out of track. That's why for the long question, the heading is necessary, so that you will think beyond the. You will not think beyond the question. Now your mind will limited. Now you have to write down that how the transportation working in country to help the country's economy. The same thing. Lifeline means they are helping country's economy. So you have to write down about it. You can write down here various means of transportation. Either we can take the example of roadways and national highways, national waterways, various international ports of India, and the pipelines. They all are helping to transport the passenger, to transport the pilgrims, to transport the crude oil pipelines. You have to give within the content. You have to write down their different functions. With the help of pipeline, we are transporting petroleum, crude oil to the various factories and the refineries, fertilizers company. All things you have studied. You have to write down. And all these factories, either the fertilizer factories, the means of transportation, the pipelines are supplying the crude oil to the various factories, and the petroleum, that we know that how much the petroleum is important to run the nation. So here, under this heading, you will write down about the various means of transportation, how they are used in our nation, in our country, to satisfy the various purposes, and how indirectly they are supporting to increase our economy. Understood? Next heading, role of communication. Role of communication in country's economy. Okay? These are the ways that how you have to write down the answer to get the good marks. Other than if you will write down the 1 page or 2 page without any heading, without any proper introduction for the 4 and 5 marks question, 2 and 2.5 marks you will get. And it will only if the content is correct. Always remember, the presentation of your answer should be proper and correct. Now under it, now you will think only about the communication devices. That now the internet, after the advancement of technology in the communication sector, it means the IT sector, it has helped India in a various way, where we come to know just only because of the developed means of communication, internet, mobile, laptop, okay, IT sector. India is developing so fast that we are also supporting our international trade with the help of various call centers and the IT sector. You can write down here. Okay, you can enhance. You have to enhance because it is for 5 and 4 marks. You have to make lengthy your answer. So here I am giving you the tips that how you supposed to write down the long answer. Now to make your answer more attractive and more relevant, even you can make additional flow chart or diagram with the colorful sketches, so that you can get good marks, more marks for the content. That with the help of diagram you can reflect your answer. Theory you are writing, but it will be additional, some extra effort by the students, where definitely you will get marks for that. So the diagram, you have to select diagram where you are supporting that really the means of communication and the transportation are counted as the lifelines of national economy. How? I am telling you. Transportation. We'll write down here transportation. Okay. Then can write down communication. Okay, and then finally trade. Okay, transportation you can write write down roadways. Then railways. Then pipelines. And there are so many you can write down. Then they are helping they are helping in trade. How? With the help of communication. So here two factors merge with each other. First is transportation, second is communication, and third, final is trade. And then finally we are having the international trade, the growth of international trade. Can be anything. I suddenly thought about this diagram. You can be different, but here the need is the representation of your written content with the help of diagram. Okay, so here you can where the two factors work together for the final result, and the final result is the trade, that the growth of international trade. International trade. Okay. So in this manner, it can be different way. You can see that first transportation, then with the help of transportation and communication, we are making our international trade successful or more and more developed. So with the help of various diagram also it can be different anything. So it shows extra effort from the student side. If you are having the time, you can also come up with a more authentic diagram that you can, when we are saying transportation, then it depends on your creativity. That I am just giving you that how much you can come up with the different and the more authentic and the creative idea, especially for the long questions. Okay, as in the 3 and 1 mark question objective, where you have to just come out with a selected piece of point. Okay, it can be MCQ, fill up, true, false. But 4 and 5 marks question can be justified only with the proper content in a proper introduction, plus the additional thing with the authentic diagrams. They can be varies, that how you come up with your brain and your own idea. It depends on your creativity, plus that you have to remember the time limit also. In examination only 3 hours. If you are not habitual to come up with your homework with a different sort of ideas for the long answer, then in examination it will be a challenge, definitely, because it is only the one way that practice makes a man perfect. So you need practice. Without practice, sorry, you cannot come up with the fantastic ideas and the different creative ideas. So these are the things where you can achieve more and additional marks. The chapter is completed now. Thank you. God bless you.